From Los Angeles, it's the Tom Leykis Show.
Oh, God.
And now, here he is, Tom Leykis.
Thank you for tuning into the Tom Leykis Show. This is where America gets together to talk about the issues you really care about. It's a different kind of a radio talk program. We're the radio talk show that is not hosted by a right-wing wacko or a convicted felon. No, I am your host. Write down our toll-free telephone number. You're going to need it at 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. We appreciate it. Here we are together again on the radio. A sports column in the Seattle Post-Intelligencer, the PI. Now I'll read it to you. The NBA, I'm sorry, correction. Let me get this right. The WNBA lives on. The writer says, thank goodness. He's not kidding. He says, don't slide this story to the back of your mind. This is a story that you should care about. Don't you love when people tell you should care about something? In life, the things you care about. You know, we always talk about discussing the issues you really care about. In life, the things you care about, no one had to tell you to care. You did or you didn't. You know, if you went to the dog pound and you saw a poor puppy there who looked like he'd been abused and he just wanted to be taken home and taken care of, you cared because you saw it and you cared about it. If there's somebody in your life you love, nobody said, hey, there's a person without love. I want you to meet this person and start caring about them. You should care. It doesn't work that way. The stuff you care about, you found that you cared about it on your own. Not when some columnist in a newspaper told you to care about it. That's why I always say on this program, we don't worry about what's on the front page of the newspaper. We talk about the issues you really care about. And that's the stuff that nobody had to tell you. Not the New York Times, not the Washington Post, not USA Today, not the Wall Street Journal. Nobody had to tell you to care. These are the things you do care about. But no, this writer in the Seattle paper says, this is a story you should care about. He says you should care if you have a daughter. You should care if you have a son. You should care if you believe in equal life chances. You should care if you believe in role models and heroes. You should care if you believe in the positives of sport. You should care if you understand the ramifications upon women's sports. If the WNBA labor agreement wasn't achieved. Now a reference to the Seattle WNBA team, the Seattle whatever they are. He says you should care if you have seen the passion of Sue Bird and Lauren Jackson. The WNBA is what sports should be, he says, in our utopian dream world. This writer claims the league is changing lives, opening eyes, altering mindsets, and making children believe. He said, throughout American history, it can be argued sports has been the precursor to many of our culturally changing events. The column goes on to say that Roger Kahn, in his brilliant book, Boys of Summer, wrote about how the white man in the bleachers at Ebbets Field didn't realize he was making a political statement when he rose from his seat to cheer Jackie Robinson, but in fact he was. White man cheering a black man in 1947 was a statement. Can I tell you the difference here, though? In 1947, Jackie Robinson was one of the best baseball players playing baseball. The reason men stood up to cheer for Jackie Robinson is because he was great. The women who play in the WNBA are not the best. They're not great at all. fact, they're lousy. That's the difference. No one was making a political statement by standing with Jackie Robinson. They stood for Jackie Robinson because he was a great ball player. I'll tell you what, if Jackie Robinson played baseball as poorly as the women of the Wnba play basketball, they wouldn't be standing and cheering him. You think they're making a political statement, huh? If Jackie Robinson batted 196, they'd be calling him a nigger, and you know it. And many did anyway, but that's beside the point. The people who cheered Jackie Robinson cheered him because he was a good ball player wearing the right uniform in Brooklyn at the time. That's why people cheered him as a baseball player. A very, very good basketball player of the 1990s, Robert Parrish, also the 1980s, played for the Boston Celtics. An African-American man made a very astute point about the fans of Boston. And I'm going to tell you what he said. The people who cheer me on Friday night don't want to live next door to me on Saturday morning. Cheering Robert Parrish, nobody was making a political statement. He wore a green uniform. He put points on the scoreboard. That's why they cheered Robert Parrish. So let's not kid ourselves. Buying a ticket to a WNBA game and watching inferior basketball being played at high prices would not be a way to make a political statement. Sorry. The column in the Post-Intelligencer of Seattle continues. It says here, we have seen firsthand as Ichiro Suzuki has shattered just about every stereotype associated with the Japanese and Japanese baseball. By the way, didn't Hideo Nomo do that? Or to pull a name out of my ass, what about Masanori Murakami? Pitched for the San Francisco Giants in 1965. He says, very subtly, that is what the WNBA is doing. The young girl who enters Key Arena on a summer evening to watch women play professional sports leaves the arena with an expanded view of the world. Really? She has seen women in the spotlight. She has seen women with insane competitiveness. And she has seen strength. And she has seen people who can't dunk. No, it doesn't say that. I'm sorry, I added that. Most importantly, it says here, it was those qualities that were applauded with gusto. The young boy who accompanies his sister also has changed, the column says. Don't underestimate the importance of the message he receives from spending time watching women do the same things he has seen men do many times before. How many of you boys have been to a WNBA game with your sister? With your sister. I didn't mean with a microphone, Dean. I meant with your sister. You went with your sister. Come on, they're trying so hard. We have to cheer for our team. They're trying. You gotta give them credit for trying. Yeah. The column says there may be no better way to get the message of equality and individual value across to a child. No, the best way to get the message of equality across is to have women play basketball as well as men do. And they don't. And if we ever needed proof, we now have it. Tell you what, if women are just as good as men, why don't we take the teams of the WNBA and put them in the NBA? Give them the same size ball to play with. Then let's see if they're equal. They're not equal. That's why you have to segregate the women and put them in the WNBA. That is also different, by the way, when you talk about racism in sports. That is also different from what happened in baseball before 1947. In the years, actually, the Negro Leagues went on until the 50s, but in the years of the Negro Leagues, we did not have people in a separate league called the Negro League because they were inferior. In fact, many of the players of the Negro Leagues were superior to the white guys who were playing Major League Baseball at the time. They were put in a separate league because of racism. They couldn't play in the same league. I'm all in favor of letting the women of the WNBA go right into the NBA. Put them in there. Would love to see that. Amazing. This piece in the Seattle PI continues here. He says, the WNBA fills a tremendous void. There aren't a great many opportunities in our society in which a family spends its entertainment dollars to see women perform. Too often it is in a movie, and who knows how the women are portrayed. Oh, come on. Oh, yeah, the victims out there like Julia Roberts is a victim, Jennifer Lopez a victim, Oprah Winfrey a victim, yes. Celine Dion now, with her own theater at Caesar's Palace, another victim, being paid an 8-figure the contract to show up at Caesar's Palace every night for 3 years. Oh, yeah, another victim. Another victim of the glass ceiling. You gotta be kidding me. Avril Lavigne, Alanis Morissette, all victims. They're all victims of the system. All the oppressed women of the entertainment industry. The WNBA is fighting for them. You gotta be kidding me. It's a political movement, I tell you. He says, the WNBA grabbed a piece of my heart in June 1998. I was calling play-by-play for the Utah Stars, with 2 Z's, I might add, in the league's second season. 2 12-year-old girls had arrived early to the arena. They approached me and asked me if I knew when Cheryl Swoops and Cynthia Cooper were coming out to warm up. The glimmer in their eyes, their eager anticipation, their racing heartbeats as they were about to see their heroines was captivating. I decided to watch them and try to imagine what they were experiencing. When Swoops and Cooper came out of the tunnel, the girls sprinted across the stands to get a closer look. They got posters and T-shirts signed. They jumped up and down. They glowed. They watched every step of their icons, every step their icons took. At the end of the game, the same 2 girls went down to the floor simply because they didn't want to leave. They didn't want the magic to stop. What this man does not say in his column in the Seattle paper is how many empty seats were at the arena in Utah. How many people didn't buy tickets? How many girls did not go to the game and instead were doing things they really like doing, like watching fill in the blank, NSYNC, Avril Lavigne? Come on! That's what they were doing. The girls are not going to WNBA games. They go to see Justin Timberlake and Christina Aguilera. That's what girls like to do. Let's tell the truth here. Girls have had the option of the WNBA for, 7 seasons now? Is the 7th season coming up here? And they have voted with their wallets. They have voted with their Barbie dolls. They have voted with their concert tickets. They have voted with their CDs. They have voted not to spend money on the WNBA. They spend the money on other stuff. The entertainment industry, clothing, purses, shoes. That's what girls spend money on. Your average girl is not running down to the court to get a close-up look at Cheryl Swoops. Okay? Not happening. 2 WNBA teams have folded in the past year. One of them was sold to an Indian tribe and moved to an Indian casino in Connecticut, okay? This is not a healthy league, and that is because women and girls do not support it and are not going to go watch women play basketball. It isn't going to happen. In another women's league, the WUSA, a soccer league, women had to take a pay cut because people are not coming out to see those games. People do not make political statements by spending money on entertainment. They don't. If something's not entertaining, they stop coming. It's that simple. Right?
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM.
Now, how old were you when she got knocked up?
I was 23.
You were 23. Hadn't you ever heard of condoms?
Yes.
Why weren't you using them?
Because I was a dumb.
Yeah, well, truer words were never spoke.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Here we go. The Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. We appreciate it. Here we are together again on the radio, you and me. The Wnba survived labor talks. They threatened to go on strike. Who would have cared about that? Oh, let's say hello here to Charles on the Tom Leykis Show.
Yeah, Tom, I bought 10 WNBA tickets today at the Tacoma Dome, May 11th. Be there.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah? What kind of sports do you enjoy, Tom?
I enjoy many sports. Basketball, baseball, hockey. Huh?
Like women in volleyball jumping up and down on the beach?
I don't really spend a lot of time even watching that, no.
No?
No.
I know you like women.
Well, to me, volleyball is something to be played, not watched.
You wouldn't watch women in volleyball?
Any more than I would watch bowling. No, I just don't watch, no.
But is it because women's basketball doesn't have some value at all?
Well, I'm sure it has value to the people playing. But you know what? There's something better than women's basketball. It's called the NBA.
Okay, that's good. That's great for all of us guys. But
no, it's great for everybody. But more women watch the NBA than the WNBA, and you know that's true.
Of course, and that's the way I guess it should always be. We should never give any value to any new idea.
Well, the point is that the NBA this year alone will have to spend $12 billion subsidizing the WNBA. That's how much money it would lose if the WNBA didn't kick that money. The NBA didn't kick that money in. As far as I'm concerned, everything should stand or fall on its own merit.
And it needs no assistance from the guiding hand. I mean, I'm sure that the NBA is getting.
If the WNBA was as good as you say it is, or as important as you say it is, people would be paying money to see it.
Yeah, and that's
any more. And by the way, I don't believe that television shows with no viewers should stay on the air. I don't believe that radio programs that can't attract an audience should stay on the air. And I don't believe that a sport that loses $12 billion should be in business.
Well, but Tom, do radio stations use Q services? They use surveys that are 100% accurate?
Well, there is no 100% accurate survey in the world.
Well, now, I mean, there was a time that women weren't allowed to vote. That's the way.
No, this has nothing to do with it. There's one statistic that doesn't lie, and that's the statistic that comes from the accountant that says that the WNBA would have lost $12 million this year.
Okay, so Boeing has one bad year, they should fold shop?
No. The WNBA has had 7 bad years.
Okay, and it takes...
People, and by the way, the attendance is not going up. 2 teams folded. Another one had to be sold and moved to an Indian reservation. Does the NBA have teams on Indian reservations? Does the NHL have teams on Indian reservations? Does Major League Baseball have teams on Indian reservations?
How many people sit in the stands at Special Olympics? How many people buy tickets to that?
Guess what? Special Olympics is a charity.
Well, I guess...
It's supposed to be a non-profit organization. It's a charity.
Now, so it's not so much that you've got a problem with women's basketball. It's a problem that...
Oh, no. The product is terrible. It's unwatchable. And other people agree with me. And that's why it's losing $12 billion this year.
The Tom Leykis Show. Only...
That's our telephone number. Jason on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Jason.
I rarely agree with you, but you're always entertaining, and I always listen to you.
Good.
And I want to let you know I'm in Seattle. Seattle has got to be the wimpiest town on the face of the earth, and what this guy wrote in the PI is proof positive of that. You take an unwatchable sport like WNBA, and basketball as a whole for that matter, in my opinion, but you take the WNBA and look at it, it's a waste of time, a waste of money. I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, and the people have voted with their pocketbooks. They voted with their wallets.
Oh, yeah, and I can't believe how much, Seattle specifically, I cannot believe how much money is wasted on professional sports venues in this city for people who don't go to the games. The Mariners pack them in, but have you ever gone to a Mariners game?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, you can testify that they're the quietest ball games.
Well, that's partly because the Nazis at the ballpark will keep you from shouting or cheering or anything.
And I've been on the other end of that. I've got ejected from a couple games now.
Mm-hmm.
And I come from the Midwest. I used to go to Wrigley Field on a regular basis, and you yell your head off, have a good time, have some beers.
Yeah.
Seattle just doesn't play that way, and it's got a real history of just being the most pussified city in the United States, and I'll stand behind that 110%.
And by the way, let's point out that the person who wrote this column had a vested interest. He does a radio program for the radio station that broadcasts the Sonics games, and they own the local Wnba team.
Yeah, exactly.
So just remember the vested interest when you read a column like this one.
Yeah, well, they just built a new stadium here in Seattle, and I was amazed to find out recently that the Kingdome that they actually tore down to build it still wasn't even paid off when it was torn down.
You're still paying for it right now.
Yeah. We're still paying for the Kingdome in Seattle.
Yes.
Even though it doesn't exist.
I know.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Blow me up, Tom.
Here you go, Jason. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Michelle on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom. Your last caller, Jason, pretty much just summed up everything in a nutshell. You're right. The WNBA sucks. It's just boring to watch.
Mm-hmm.
You can only watch women do, layups and jump shots for so long.
Yeah. Just like I don't watch high school basketball. Exactly. Unless LeBron James is playing. And come on, how many players are like him?
Exactly. I used to play basketball, and I don't even like basketball to watch.
Yeah.
So I just I agree with you all the way.
Well, again, I know the majority of people agree with me because the WNBA is dying. It's dying. It's dying.
Yeah, I don't even know how it's staying alive.
I mean, what do they have, 12 teams? 2 of them folded. 1 of them had to move and was sold. I mean, come on.
Exactly.
Ridiculous. Michelle, thank you.
Tom.
Here you go, Michelle. 1-800-5800-TOM. Tim on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Tim.
This David man that wrote this article, he's got a vested interest because he does the play-by-play for them, too. But, the WNBA made their castles in the sand. They forced it down everybody's throat saying, you will like this, you should like this. When the storm first started, there was an article that came out that said the kids had gone to see the practice to see their heroes. They didn't even know who these players were, let alone that they would be their heroes.
Yeah, please. Oh, look, I mean, everybody's got heroes. I mean, some people probably had Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, as a hero, So what? That doesn't mean that there is a viable business here.
Right. It was like the media telling them, or the WNBA saying, these will be your heroes, and you people should... They had a big opening day spread on the roster and in-depth look. Not that many people were interested. They just did it to appease to the Sonics, who spend all kinds of money advertising with them.
Yes, and the Sonics are owned by Howard Schultz, who owns Starbucks, and so you see all the interconnections here.
Yeah. Right now, I'm on my way to the Thunderbird playoff game, so take me out with a bong hit, Tom.
Here you go, Tim. Lane on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Tom.
Lane.
Good show. I love it. I wanted to retort to Jason's comments earlier about Seattle being a pussified city.
Yeah.
In terms of crowd commitment and loudness, the Seattle Seahawks were penalized during the games because we were too loud and we were too rambunctious. We were put down by the officials. Seattle is only quiet because we were the Nazis that you specified earlier. So I think Jason's wrong. He obviously hasn't been in Seattle long enough. I mean, he didn't even remember the Kingdom. So
let's not forget where the wave started.
No doubt. And the WNBA, I think it was a great idea. I think it was entertaining to watch at first, but you're right, it just is not holding its own. They should let it go.
I don't even think it was interesting in the beginning, except as a novelty. I mean, I watched it at the beginning because it was a novelty. And I just wanted to see what it looked like. And I watched a couple of games. It's like, okay, done.
Yep, I totally agree, Tom. Blow me up.
Here you go. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. This is Tim on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Tim.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
Good. Glad to hear that. Hey, Tom, since this is about women's role models,
Yes.
I just want to let you know that I've never been to one of these games, but my teenage son, who was 14 at the time, was taken to a Seattle Storm game by his mother. Now, without any prompting from me, I said, well, what did you think? He said, well, Dad, it's kind of weird because everyone in the stands were these women holding hands and petting each other's hair. I said, you got to be kidding me. He said, no. I said, what do you think of that? He goes, it kind of made me feel kind of weird.
Oh, boy. Well, see, learn something valuable there. Learn about...
There's more than one role model, if you get what I'm saying here,
Yes.
that goes to the Seattle Storm games.
Yes. Exactly.
And I'm not trying to make any political comment here, but...
Did you say whole model? Oh, role model. I'm sorry.
Oh, yes, role model. Role model, yes.
Just checking.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-866. The Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis Show. Thank you for tuning in. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. It's John on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Yeah, hi, Tom.
Hi.
I was a season ticket holder for the Seattle Reign. Which
you were a season ticket holder.
Runner of the Seattle Storm.
Yes.
And I thought it'd be a great thing to do with my daughter, who was a decorated player college and high school. I thought it'd be great to do with her.
Uh-huh.
Went to several games, and the games were almost unwatchable, like you said.
Uh-huh.
After some games, I couldn't even get my daughter to go. And I couldn't give the tickets away. And pretty soon I realized that the league and the attendance was being held together by, as the other guy alluded to, the lesbian crowd. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's who was being attracted to go there. They were the stalwarts, the attendees.
And let's face it, there are not enough lesbians to keep a sports league alive.
That's right. It's not profitable.
That's right.
So, that was my experience. I went into it. I put my money, up front there. It just didn't pay off, and I couldn't give them away.
There you go. So there was so much for your political statement.
Yeah. So next time I vote with my wallet.
There we go. Thank you, John.
Thanks, Tom.
Appreciate the call. Here's Tim on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Yeah, this guy's a pussy, man.
The guy wrote the column, you mean?
Of course he wants it to stay because he does the play-by-play.
Oh, is that he does the play-by-play? I didn't know that.
Play-by-play for the
now you think I listen to the WNBA on the radio? You're telling me the WNBA's on the radio? I don't even think in L.A. it's on the radio.
Hey, take me out SAR style.
SAR style?
Yeah.
I guess all I can do is, you got something, Brad? That's it. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. It's Mike on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom, the God of men and the Satan of many women.
Thank you, Mike.
If Coca-Cola made a, sperm-flavored soda and put it on the shelves, it'd probably get taken off because there's no market for it. Nobody would want it. Nobody'd drink it. That's what the WNBA is. It's a product on the shelf. It's out there losing money, hand over fist. Get rid of it. Nobody wants to watch it.
That's right. That's
right. If you got a feminist or a bunch of lesbians out there that want to go watch their favorite bull dyke run up and down the court, go for it. But
yeah, well, you know what, though? It doesn't deserve a chance. I love hearing that phrase. They deserve a chance. No, they had a chance. They've had 7 years to get it together, and it continues to lose money hand over fist.
Yeah, it's not. I'm up in Portland. We had the Portland Fire or something like that, and
Well, isn't it the Portland Beavers?
No, that's our little minor league.
Oh, it's a baseball team.
But, now
good
we
name for a WNBA team, I would think. What? Yeah.
Sick and tired of listening to those bastards. Rather listen to you.
Exactly.
But, we had the Portland Fire up here. I guess it just rained so much to just put them out. They're not worth watching.
Well, I really do think they should swap names. I think the Portland Beavers ought to be the name of a WNBA team.
Yeah, just a big bunch of sloppy beavers running up and down the basketball court trying to make three-pointers or layups because, God forbid, any of them can actually slam dunk a ball.
Thank you for that. 1-800-5800-TOM. Morgan on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Tom?
All right, Morgan.
Right on. Hey, I was just going to say I was listening to this subject, and I was just thinking because I've talked to a bunch of girlfriends of mine, and I go to strip clubs whenever I can, and I say, well, why are you always so interested in going to a girls' strip club? Why don't you want to go to a male strip club? And they always say it's just not the same watching some dude make a fool of himself up on a pole unless it's like a bachelorette party.
Yes.
It's the same thing with women's basketball. There's no slam dunk. The competition isn't as fierce. It's just not the same.
There's no doubt about it. It's just not as good. Therefore, people aren't going to pay to see it. That's that.
Right on.
You know, if they came up with another baseball league, for example, and it would be like the next best 700 players.
Yeah, totally. And I
we got the 750 best players. Now we're going to go. 750. We got the 750 best players. Now we're going to have a league with the 750 next best players.
Yeah. And I used to work at a restaurant where there's a female sports team. I won't mention the name. But they used to always come in there after they won, and man, it turned into Butch City, and the guys that were there were the weirdest dudes you've ever seen in your life.
I'll bet.
You know. So, anyways, hey man, take me out with a screaming orgasm.
Here you go, Morgan.
Oh God. Oh yes.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
I'm really excited to talk to you. You turn me on so much.
Is that so?
Yes.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. It's Lane on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, Lane.
Hello, Tom. I am a 33-year-old, bull-dyke lesbian that really thinks that the WNBA is very, very good for younger lesbian women trying to come out of the closet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but are there enough young lesbian women trying to come out of the closet to put 18,000 asses in seats in arenas? I don't think so.
You know, I think it's coming around, though. You know, people are...
Because, you know what, I think even lesbians know that the NBA is better than the WNBA, and I think lesbians are more likely to go to the Dana Shore Desert Classic, or they're more likely to go see Serena versus Venus Williams, or something like that.
Well, that's true. I mean, you know, we all want to see women running around, right, just like the... But I do think that the WNBA is very important for women to, in essence, have their own sport.
Then why don't lesbian organizations kick in the $12 million a year to keep it going?
You know what? That might be a good idea.
They won't.
Just like the football.
I mean, I don't see why when I buy a Laker ticket, I should be subsidizing your basketball.
That's absolutely correct, Tom. You know, you're always right.
I can't believe it. Took a minute and 18 seconds.
I'm not to argue with you. I've been listening to you way too long. Blow me up, Tom.
Here you go, Lane. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Danielle on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi.
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 Unfortunately, I just wanted to say not all girls like to shop for Barbies because I play basketball like 2 hours a day.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I used to have season tickets.
Have you have a Melissa Etheridge CD or
No.
No?
I play basketball. That's about it.
Are you a tomboy?
No, not really. I'm an athlete.
You're an athlete. So you're a feminine athlete.
Yeah. But obviously some people are paying too much attention to the lesbians at the game instead of the game in general.
Well, that's because the game is so boring. I couldn't tell you the sexual orientation of the people at a hockey game because I'm watching the game.
Well, maybe they should just watch the game and actually know what's going on then.
It isn't that good.
Whatever. At least you have a chance to play someplace.
How many WNBA games have you gone to?
I used to have season tickets.
Used to. What happened then?
I have practice, so we can't go.
You what? You have practice, so you can't go.
I have basketball practice and games, so I can't go to the games.
I see. Well, there you go. So you'd rather play than watch.
Yeah, I'd rather stay in shape than watch.
Case closed. You know what? I think that's really the whole story right there. You'd rather play than watch.
I'd rather play basketball than watch a Sonics game, too, though.
That's fine. Guess what? I was at a Sonics game. There were 19,000 people there.
That's cool.
Did you ever see 19,000 people at a women's basketball game?
No.
Dang.
That's fine with me, though. I'm at the game watching it myself.
Oh, that's great. But, I resent the idea that when I go to a Sonics game or a Laker game, I have to pay to subsidize your game. I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay to see your. I don't want to pay for your game. You should pay for your own game.
Well, some people don't want to pay for Sonics games either, but they still do.
Well, no, nobody makes them do it. I mean, when you go to a WNBA game, you're not subsidizing the Sonics. It's the other way around.
Okay.
You know that, right?
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you're off doing something else there. What are you going to do? All right, our email address is my name. It's Tom at blowmeuptom.com. Tom at blowmeuptom.com. You can call our comment line right now. There it is for you, 310-842.